Welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University. School of Agriculture, SOA. Diploma in Fish Products Technology, DFPT. BPVI 041 Introduction to Fish, Processing, Packaging and Value Addition. Block 1. Unit 4 Fish Handling in Chill Storage. 4.0 Objectives. After reading this unit, you will be able to justify how fish should be handled after capture. Understand how spoilage of fish takes place. Explain the methods of chilling fish to arrest spoilage. Recognize the different types of ice used as well as the different types of refrigerated storage of fish on board as well as on land, and summarize details of sanitation and hygiene to be followed in all steps of handling fish. 4.1 Introduction. You will agree that fish is a highly perishable food. Great care should be taken while harvesting them as well as while further processing. Physical damages such as scratches, cuts, bruises or severe hemorrhages should not take place while capturing, whereas mild bleeding is permitted. Severe hemorrhages can affect meat quality on further storage. Excessive struggling during harvest can result in low glycogen levels in muscle tissues affecting shelf life. Hence, handling methods have great impact on quality of fish as well as their further processing. 4.2 Spoilage of fish and the need of chilling fish. You should always remember that fish should be chilled or kept in cold condition, around 10 degrees Celsius, in tropical climate until it reaches the processing plant. The changes that take place during spoilage of fish falls under 3 categories. 4.2.1 Autolytic. The enzymes in the fish gut and muscle mainly cause this. Higher the temperature, faster the enzymatic changes and subsequent spoilage of the fish. Other changes associated with this are the oxidation of fatty acids in the fish fat. This process is called autooxidation. There are two types of fatty acids in fish fat or oil. They are called A. Saturated fatty acids (AG), palmitic acid. B. Unsaturated fatty acids, oleic acid, linoleic acid etc. Fatty acids present in fish oil are long-chain fatty acids. This means they contain carbon chain length varying from 12 to 24. Some of the fatty acids are highly unsaturated, containing 2 to 6 double bonds. These acids get easily oxidized by absorbing oxygen from atmospheric air or from the medium in which it is kept, like water, which contain dissolved oxygen. They get oxidized rapidly, giving a group of compounds called carbonyl compounds. You will be surprised to know that these are responsible for the rancid flavor in spoiled fish. The process is called autooxidation. Immediate chilling of fish after capture can considerably prevent the process of autooxidation. Along with fat changes, various enzymes released by the fish from intestines start acting on muscle proteins and make the fish muscle soft. The above changes make the fish inedible, and this process is called autolysis. 4.2.2 Biochemical spoilage. You will be surprised to know that a number of chemicals are released from fish muscle like trimethylamine oxide, TMAO, adenosine triphosphate, ATP, histamine etc. These cause flavor changes in fish muscle. 4.2.3 Microbial changes. Bacteria present in the fish are varying types. In marine fish they are Gram-Way and in freshwater fish they are Gram-Way. Tropical bacteria, since they live in elevated temperatures, say from 30-45 degrees Celsius, are very sensitive to chilling. They cannot survive under very low temperature like the ice water temperature of 0 degrees Celsius and hence get easily destroyed. Hence, chilling the fish can lower bacterial load in fish and help to maintain them in freshness. 4.2.4 Sensory evaluation. Following are parameters evaluated to test sensory qualities of raw fish. 1. Softness, by touching and pressing. 2. Color. 3. Flavor. 4. Rancidity. Fish will remain edible by arresting bacterial and chemical changes. But, if the sensory quality is not good, it will be unacceptable to consumers. If the sensory quality is good, but the fish contains harmful bacteria, the consumption of fish is a hazard to man. The fish can be kept bacteriologically and autolytically good, but if it contains toxic chemicals it is still unsafe to eat. Hence, you must remember that all the above quality criteria should be kept. at an acceptable level in order to keep the fish safe and edible. Hence, preservation of the fish assumes greater significance. Do you know, as on today, chilling the fish in ice is by far the best and cheapest method available. For fresh fish preservation, refrigerated seawater and solid carbon dioxide are also used to chill freeze the fish. But they are highly expensive and add more cost to the fish. Chilling fish using ice has also another advantage. Melted ice water has a washing effect. The ice water washes slime, dirt and bacteria adhering to fish surface and also enhances the quality and storage life of fish. 4.3 Chilling methods. You know already that fish is a highly perishable material. Fish get rapidly spoiled when kept at elevated temperatures beyond 10 degrees Celsius. Rate of spoilage depends on the temperature of chilling and subsequent storage. Higher the temperature of storage, the faster the spoilage of fish. The three types of spoilage you studied were 1. Autolytic, 2. Microbial, 3. Oxidative. Chilling the fish can slow down all the above types of spoilage. But chilling will not completely arrest the above spoilage factors. At best, they slow down the destructive changes. If these changes are not arrested, fish get rapidly spoiled and become inedible. The various methods of chilling are using ice water, freezing, cryogenic freezing, using liquid nitrogen, using solid carbon dioxide. 4.3.1 Chilling by ice. Please understand that this is by far the best method of cooling fish. For chilling fish, use of ice, Fig. 4.1, has certain advantages over other methods. The melted ice water washes slime, bacteria sticking to surface of fish in other dirt also, hence, it cleans the fish. When ice melts, a lot of energy is released. This energy is called latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion. You must understand that this is the amount of energy that must be removed from 1 gram of water when it is converted from liquid phase to solid phase. When 1 gram of ice melts to water, it absorbs an amount of energy equal to 334.7 joules per gram or 80 calories per gram or 80 kilocalories, kilogram. This amount of energy is called the latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion of ice is the highest compared to that of other materials. Advantages of using ice for chilling fish. 1. When ice melts, chilled water is released. This water washes the fish. 2. Ice water always keeps fish wet and prevents it from drying, particularly in tropical countries like India where ambient temperatures, room temperature, are high. 3. Easy to transport from place to place. 4. Ice is the cheapest chilling agent. 5. Ideal for taking in fishing vessels. 6. Convenience in using in small quantities for fish vendors. It is calculated that in normal conditions where atmospheric temperature is around 25 plus or minus 5 degrees Celsius, approximately 1 kilogram of fish needs 1 kilogram ice to keep the fish chilled for 24 hours. If the fish is kept in insulated containers, the storage time can be extended to 4 to 6 hours. But the temperature of the fish should not go above 10 degrees Celsius. In winter times, particularly in northern India, when the atmospheric temperature falls below 20 degrees Celsius, the amount of ice can be reduced to half. However, in places where the atmospheric temperature is above 35 to 45 degrees Celsius, the fish has to be re-iced, as rate of melting of ice is very high. Solid carbon dioxide is another material used for chilling, but it is highly expensive and difficult to handle. 4.3.2 Different types of ice. Ice can be made in different ways. Broadly, they can be classified as A. Block ice, B. Flake ice, C. Tube ice, D. Chip ice, A. Soft ice, F. Fluid ice, G. Salt water ice, H. Shell ice, nugget ice. A. Block ice. This is the normal ice made for commercial purpose. Most of the plants are using liquid ammonia as a refrigerant. These plants occupy large area. Ice blocks, Fig. 4.2, produced are cylindrical blocks of size varying from 10 to 100 kg. These blocks are stored in rooms kept at 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. For use, they are crushed to small pieces either manually or mechanically using a crusher. You know, block ice is not suitable for cooling fish, especially small Pelagic fish like sardine, mackerel, anchovies etc. The ice blocks being heavy will crush the fish. To keep the fish chilled, block ice is crushed to small pieces either manually or mechanically using a crusher. Fig. 4.3. The rate of melting of block is low compared to crushed ice due to small surface area of the block. When crushed, the surface area is increased greatly and hence, the crushed ice melts fast and also cools the fish quickly. The block ice finds application in fishing vessels. In the fish holes, ice is stored as block ice to prevent rapid melting. So, the fishing vessels take the ice as block ice before they start to go for fishing from harbors. When they start catching fish, the blocks are crushed on board the vessels and used as crushed ice in the fish holes to keep the fish cooled rapidly. Crushed ice is also used in small containers for moving fish to the market and processing centers. B. Flake ice. Flake ice machines produce thin sheets of ice of thickness 2 to 3 mm by spraying water on the surface of a drum. These drums are supercooled below 0 degrees Celsius and the sprayed water gets converted to ice very quickly. Flake ice production, Fig. 4.4, is a continuous process. Today, we have small flake ice machines of different capacity for domestic and industrial purposes. These machines will always contain a specific weight of ice and can be taken regularly for use. See, tube ice. Tube ice is available as small tubes. Tubes are 50 mm across, with a wall thickness of 10 to 12 mm and are formed in the inner surface of hollow cylinders. Refrigerant usually covers the outer surface of the cylinders and cools the water to form the ice tubes. It is best to store this ice around -5 degrees Celsius as it has a tendency to melt fast. D. Chip ice. Chip ice is made in automatic machines and is a very convenient form for chilling. Chip ice plants are used in fishing vessels. A. Soft ice. This ice is also called slush ice. Soft ice, Fig. 4.6, is made out of low salt water or seawater. Soft ice is made by freezing ice crystals from weak salt solutions. Sodium chloride is used to make the brine or salt water. This is usually slurry of ice of around 1 mm particle size and is ideal for chilling pelagic fish on board fishing vessels. There are now machines that can be installed on board fishing vessels to make soft ice. F. Fluid ice is formed out of seawater or mixture of fresh water and salt. The microscopic ice crystals form a suspension in seawater in any required concentration. Fluid ice completely covers the fish. It chills the fish instantly and has greater chilling characteristics up to 3 to 4 times better than conventional ice. Fish is kept around -1 to -2 degrees Celsius. The fluid ice, being soft, does not cause injury to fish. Another advantage of fluid ice is that it can be pumped to the containers and has lower temperature than melting ice. 0 degrees Celsius. Cooling also is rapid. G. Brine ice. Saltwater ice. Seawater is normally used for producing brine ice, particularly in the ports and on board fishing vessels. You should remember that seawater ice has no advantage over fresh water ice. When fish is stored in seawater ice, the fish takes salt from ice and the resultant fish has always a salty taste and is not suitable for certain types of processing. For canning fish, salt ice chilling is ideal. Storage life. The length of time that the fish will remain edible if stored in ice is known as the storage life. Ice storage is relatively a short-term method of preservation. The length of ice storage life of fish depends on a large number of factors, including species, size, method of capture, fat content, breeding condition, feeding regime, method of killing and ambient temperatures. Investigations on estimation of ice storage shelf life of most fishes are now available. Ice storage shelf life of some important fishes are given below. Table 4.1, for your information. Table 4.1, ice storage shelf life of some important Indian fish species. Marine species name shelf life, days. Sardinella longiceps, oil sardine, 7. Rastelliger canagurta, mackerel, 6 to 8. Pampus argenteus, pomfret, 14. Parastromateus niger, black pomfret, 7 to 9. Scumbramoris, sayo, 9. Sarotherodon mosambicus, tilapia, 10 to 14. Cyrrhinus mrigala, mrigal, 13 to 17. Oreochromus mosambica, tilapia, 12. Katla cultured, 17. Channa striatus, common morels, 8 to 9. Clarius butricus, catfish, 15. Cyrrhinus reba, 12. Labeo rohita, rohu, 10 to 12. Labeo rohita, rohu, cultured, 16. Cyrrhinus mrigala, mrigal, cultured, 12. 4.3.3 Chilling fish in cooled brine. This process is widely used in large fishing vessels. The brine is cooled in plants run by refrigerants. Fish is always kept in a fluid medium and hence prevents the oxidative changes. This is an ideal method for chilling pelagic fishes like sardines, mackerels and anchovies. 4.4 Wet fish handling. Fish is a highly perishable food. If not handled properly, the fish becomes inedible in a short time. Consumption of spoiled fish is injurious to human health. Spoiled fish contains harmful bacteria and toxic chemicals, and these can cause large number of diseases like cholera, typhoid, gastroenteritis etc. to man. Hence, it is ideal that fish should be preserved from the time it is caught till it is consumed. One of the best ways to arrest spoilage and associated deterioration of quality is to keep the fish at a lower temperature by keeping in ice or under frozen storage. Fish is often graded based on quality. Ideal way to handle fish. 1. Keep the fish clean immediately after capture by washing in good quality water. 2. Arrest material contamination externally. 3. Chill the fish by keeping in ice. 4. Transport as quickly as possible to consumer sites, markets, pre-processing centers, houses etc. 4.4.1 How to reduce spoilage. You will agree with me that if the fish growing in water is caught and kept in atmospheric temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, it will spoil very rapidly. If the rate of spoilage at this temperature is put at a scale of 100, it can be reduced to half, 50%, by cooling the fish to 25 degrees Celsius. If the fish is cooled to 20 degrees Celsius, the rate of spoilage becomes 25%, and at 0 degrees Celsius temperature, rate of spoilage can be lower than 5%. This shows the importance of chilling fish. Chilling thus enhances the shelf life of the fish. Shelf life means the number of days fish can be kept stored in ice in edible condition. 4.4.2 Handling the fish on board. Handling on board refers to handling the fresh fish on the deck of the fishing vessel after capture. Most fishing vessels having an overall length L up to 17 meters have insulated fish holds having capacity varying from 1 to 10 tons. They carry ice in fishing holes during fishing. The fish is kept in fish holes under ice until the vessels come to fish landing centers or harbors. Small fishing vessels remain in sea from 1 to 7 days. There are also other methods of cooling fish on board vessels. Some of them are as follows. I. Refrigerated seawater plants, RSW. Large fishing vessels have fish holes containing brine, seawater, kept cooled by refrigeration plants installed on board fishing vessels. Fish is kept cooled in chilled seawater around -1 to -2 degrees Celsius. The basic advantage of this method is that the temperature can be maintained mechanically for the period up to the point of reaching the harbor. At 3.5% of sodium chloride, referred often as salt in fish processing, seawater has a freezing point around -2 degrees Celsius. This method is ideal for chilling fish like sardine, mackerel, anchovies etc. The important components of the RSW plants are the following. Heat exchanger to remove heat from the seawater, a mechanical refrigerator to discharge heat from the system, and a circulatory pump system to transport refrigerant between heat exchanger and refrigerator. The problem associated with chilling fish in seawater is that the fish absorbs salt and the meat retains a salty taste. Rapid development of rancidity in fatty fishes like sardine and mackerel is another issue, and this can be reduced to a great extent by bubbling carbon dioxide through the water in the RSW tank. This process is good for fish canning but not acceptable to other types of fish processing techniques, chilled seawater plants, CSW. In this method, ice is carried on board fishing vessels in ice holes. Seawater is also pumped into the tanks. The seawater is cooled by ice and the freshly caught fish is kept cooled in a fluid medium. The salt content of the medium is low compared to RSW method and hence ideal for handling most pelagic fish like sardines, mackerel, anchovies etc. Surface contact within this medium is the best and is better than ice as the fish is kept in a fluid medium. Fish can be kept safe in this medium up to 7 days without much spoilage. The great advantages of this system are the following. Faster cooling rate compared to ice. Maintenance of uniform temperature. Less physical damage to fish. Easy unloading either manually or using a pump. High quality and less rancidity. These days, CSW system is incorporated with a mechanically operated air pump provided at the bottom of the fish tank. Air is blown from the bottom once fish is loaded in the tank. This helps constant movement of the fish ice-water medium, and when the whole system becomes uniform, the air will come from the top. Freezing plants. Large fishing vessels have freezing plants and frozen storage, -20 degrees Celsius for storing fish. These types of vessels remain in sea for up to 2 to 3 months or more and have huge storage capacity. Fish is dressed, cleaned, frozen packed and kept in frozen storage. They are disposed of when these vessels reach fishing harbors. Some of these big vessels, often called factory vessels, have also fish meal plants. Low-value fish is converted to fish meal. The meal is dried and stored in bags. Fish oil, a byproduct, is often used as a fuel for boilers. 4.4.3 Handling fish at landing centers. You have to remember that an ideal fish landing center should have following facilities. 1. Facilities for fishing vessels to be berthed. 2. Fresh quality water. 3. Ice plants. 4. Frozen storage. 5. Fish landing platforms. 6. Electricity. 7. Connected by road or rail to transport the fish quickly to markets. And 8. Should maintain high standards of sanitation and hygiene. 4.5 Handling and transport of fish. Since fish is a highly perishable item, handling procedures soon after capture determine the quality of the fishery products produced subsequently. Let us now look into the detailed procedures of handling of freshly caught fish. 4.5.1 Marine fish. Marine fish arriving from distant seas are offloaded into landing platforms. It should be immediately iced. These fishes are normally sold by auction. They are then transported to distant consumer markets by the following methods. 1. Kept packed in ice in small boxes, fish to ice ratio 1:1, in trucks for short distances. 2. In insulated trucks to processing factories, pre-processing plants and distant markets. 4.5.2 Freshwater fish. Freshwater fish handling is totally different from marine fish. They can be caught and transported quickly to market or consumer center. They can also be transported in live condition in tanks. Initial freshness being the highest priority, they can be maintained in high quality if they are kept immediately in ice or cold medium. The ideal way is to keep in small containers made of plastic or wood or bamboo. Fish is kept cold around 0 to 3 degrees Celsius in a fish to ice ratio of 1:1 and transported in ordinary trucks or insulated trucks to distant places. At arrival time, the temperature of the fish should be around 5 degrees Celsius. Quality of raw fish or its freshness is very important for its utilization. Freshness of the fish depends on the method of capture and struggle it undergoes either in the net or after capture. Catching too much in one haul causes not only physical damage but also puts the fish under great stress. All these contribute to depletion of glycogen in the muscle, which affects its shelf life by rapid post-mortem changes. There is now a great preference to live fish. Often fish is brought alive and then partly processed by fish vendors. But quality and price are two factors that govern the market. 4.5.3 Live fish transport. Freshwater fish caught alive, without undergoing much struggle, is selected for live transport. They should be in good condition, healthy without any damage to skin. The fish then undergoes a process called conditioning. This is accomplished by putting the fish in good quality oxygenated water. Conditioning reduces stress, inhibits metabolism and at the same time food remains a removed from the alimentary canals and oxygen demand of muscle is reduced. During the conditioning process, the fish is not fed, which further inhibits metabolism and also limits the excretion of ammonia and carbon dioxide. In short, for conditioning process, 1 square meter of water is sufficient for 50 to 60 kilograms of carp, 30 to 40 kilograms of pike and 20 to 25 kilograms of trout. Oxygen demand of tropical fish for live transport conditioning is not available. However, this information is available for fish from temperate waters. For example, fish growing at 10 degrees Celsius and having 1 kilogram size by weight, the demand for oxygen is 25 milligrams for eel, 45 milligrams for carp and 50 milligrams for pike. Young fish, due to faster metabolism, needs more oxygen than old fish. Oxygen consumption or demand depends on the liveliness of fish. Sluggish species need only less quantity compared to fast-moving ones. The amount of oxygen in water depends upon ambient temperature. For stenothermal species like carps, water temperature should not be less than 10 to 12 degrees Celsius in summer and 5 to 6 degrees Celsius in spring and autumn. Optimal temperature for conditioning and transportation of trout is 5 to 6 degrees Celsius in summer and 3 to 5 degrees Celsius in spring. During winter, fish tolerates temperatures of 1 to 2 degrees Celsius. Nowadays, special tanks are available with aeration facilities to keep fish alive. Water is cooled by ice. 4.6 Sanitation and hygiene. Sanitizers. They are substances capable of destroying microorganisms, including pathogens, bacteria, causing diseases. There are two types of sanitizers. Category 1 needs rinsing, e.g., chlorine, iodophos. Category 2 needs no rinsing, e.g., chlorine dioxide. Detergents. They are chemicals that remove dirt and grease. They don't kill bacteria, e.g., soaps. There are also surfactants like soap powders. All over the world, at fish landing centers, most often activities man performs, like sorting, cleaning, dressing and packing of fish are by squatting on the floor. This method should be avoided as it contaminates the fish. Fish when caught is clean and sterile. Contamination comes from harbors, landing centers. In modern landing centers and the processing plants, fish is kept on tables that are regularly cleaned by detergents and sanitizers. 4.7 Facilities needed in ideal landing centers. Quality, you will agree, is of great importance in any food item including the highly perishable fish. If you expect to produce a quality fish product, every step in the processing chain from capture to consumption should be carefully monitored. The following descriptions are extremely important for the upkeep of quality of fishery products. 1. Floors. Floor should be made of concrete and easy to clean by washing. Proper drainage should be there to remove water and dry the platform quickly. 2. Insect control. Fish landing centers are often infested by insects, birds, rats and mice. Flies are also seen in large numbers. During construction of landing places, control measures should be taken to prevent entry of these insects and birds. Traps, meshes and devices like ultraviolet, UV lamps should be installed to prevent entry of these insects. These animals carry a large number of pathogenic bacteria and fish get contaminated. These flies also lay eggs in the fish tissues. These eggs hatch and the larvae eat the fish. Insect infestation is still an unsolved issue in dry fish production and storage. Most dry fish storage godowns are infested with blowflies. The storage loss of dried fish is up to 25% in some tropical countries. There are now several permitted chemicals available in the market to destroy such flies and insect. While using these, utmost care should be taken. Only permitted chemicals should be used. 3. Toilet. Proper toilet facility should be provided in all landing centers. They should not be open directly to the processing area. All toilets should be cleaned regularly and should be extremely clean. Otherwise, the toilet will become an active center for contaminating fish. 4. Water supply. Water supply has now become a critical issue these days. The water should meet the required chemical and microbial standards as prescribed by national and international standards for drinking water. Water from rivers or groundwater usually contains pathogenic bacteria of fecal origin. The water can also contain toxic metals, pesticide, hydrocarbons etc. Hence, such water should be reprocessed to remove all the contamination and then chlorinated for use. Adequate supply of water is a real issue in most fishing harbors in India, and attempts are now made by central and state governments to tackle this issue on an urgent way. 5. Electricity. All landing centers should have continuous uninterrupted power supply. Power by diesel generator should be installed to supply power to cold storages and ice plants. 6. Maintenance. Regular maintenance is an issue in many landing centers. All places should be maintained properly and frequently checked by municipal authorities. 4.8 Summary. In this unit, you learnt as to how fish should be handled after capture. You also could understand how spoilage of fish occurs. The unit also described the importance of ice in chilling the fishes as well as the different types of ice available for chilling. You also were able to get a clear idea of how to handle fish on board the vessel and also how to transport fish both live as well as dead. The facilities needed in an ideal landing center as well as the use of sanitizers and maintenance of hygiene to keep fish without spoilage were also described. Thank you.